Alright, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Today we're going to be doing another Will I Buy, talking about new makeup releases, and it's something I do on my channel where every single week, usually on Saturdays, I sit down and I go over the new releases that came out from this past week. Typically they're indie focused because that's where a lot of my focus and just my interest tends to lie, is indie makeup, because they just are so creative when it comes to palettes and color stories and whatnot. But anyway, I sit down and I chit chat with you guys about my thoughts on the new releases, what I think, if I'm picking anything up, and I always love to hear what you guys think. So that's what we're going to do in today's video, and thankfully, just to follow up on last week, I am doing better. My voice is back. I feel like I still sound a little off. I feel like my voice is still a little bit it's not back to 100% for sure, but I am past the stage of sounding like a boy going through puberty, and I am very thankful for that. But anyway, sometimes I feel like I should explain my intro video because it might be a little confusing for newcomers, but the jar that I poured for my coffee was just extra coffee. I always pour any coffee that my husband brings back from work or that's left over in the coffee pot into one of those jars. I just recycle them from the prune juice bottles that we get. But anyway, I pour it into there, and then whenever I have enough, I like to make myself an iced cup of coffee. An iced coffee. Kind of mixed up a nice cup of coffee and iced coffee together. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up my phone and we can get right into it. All right, first up is from Kailav Beauty. I think it's Kailav or Kailav. Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to refresh myself. They used to be Muse Beauty, and then they changed and rebranded. I think it's Kailav Beauty, if I remember correctly. But anyway, used to be Muse. They rebranded, but they're gearing up for their next launch, and I'm really excited. And basically, it's going to be like a 2.0 of their previous limited edition palette that I think they released on Black Friday. It was called Le Jardin. I'm sure I butchered that as well. But anyway, it was a really colorful kind of pastel 9-pan palette that was just for, I believe it was Black Friday, but it was just for like limited edition until it sold out, and then it was gone. And a lot of people missed it. A lot of people were bummed to miss it. And it looks like they're coming back with number 2 of Le Jardin. And I'm really curious to see what they do. It sounds, them calling it, you know, Le Jardin number 2 makes it sound like they're doing something else and not just like re-releasing the same palette. So I'm curious to see what the color story will be. The theme still is the same as the original palette, of course, with the pictures. So I don't know. I don't have any pictures to show you guys of what the full release is. I'll of course stick it in here if it goes up before I post this video, but if not, we'll definitely talk about it whenever it does launch. But I just had to share with you guys that this is coming out. They officially announced that something good is coming very, very soon. Nomad Cosmetics is also launching something limited edition and just teasing it. And this, from what I understand, is the color story of the palette. But this is going to be a holiday-inspired limited edition palette launching Tuesday, November 16th. What is it called? I think it's called... Let me go to their page. Dark Fairy Tales is what it's called, and this is the color story. Okay, that's interesting, because when it says Dark Fairy Tales, I think of really like dark, kind of almost, you know, Halloween themed type of color story for whatever reason. But here it's like very bright and colorful, so I'm very, very curious of what it will actually look like all put together. It looks like most of these, I mean, maybe some are mattes. It's hard to see. A lot of them look like shimmers. They have that finish to them, but like the ones in the middle don't really have a strong finish, so maybe those are the mattes. I don't know. This is another palette that I can't say either way if I plan to get it. I probably won't because it is limited edition and I have a lot of palettes to focus on, so I'll probably just be passing this by because it sounds like it'll be very limited edition, but it looks cute and I'm excited to see what the official color story will look like. Oh my goodness, Give Me Glow does not sleep. Like in the latter half of the year, I feel like she's just been going. She's really gearing up for Black Friday, and I'm kind of nervous because of how much is going to be launching on Black Friday from Give Me Glow. I'm just nervous, A, how much the total cost is going to be on my order, but B, as well, like how crazy and hectic it's going to be to actually shop. So we're gonna see. But first up, I saved this. These are a bunch of lip glosses, it looks like, maybe even a couple liquid lipsticks. Like these look like liquid lipsticks, new colors. They got glosses. I really am curious. I've tried 2 of her products, but this is a reformulated, if I remember correctly. Releasing 64 lip gloss shades on Black Friday. So many colors, so many shades. Oh my goodness, like this is a little too overwhelming for me, so I don't know if I'll be purchasing any. Maybe if not the lip glosses, maybe a liquid lipstick, though I do like her lip gloss and liquid lipstick that I have from a previous, I bought it like last year, was it? I bought it a while ago. I like her formula, so I'll be curious to see what this formula and what these colors look like. I don't know, I'm tempted, but I haven't decided. Brushes, definitely, absolutely will be picking up some of her brushes. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for Give Me Glow. I've been waiting for a lot of indie brands to like start launching brushes, but not just any kind of brushes, more so focus on like specialty brushes, like teeny tiny little blending brushes. That's what my eyes zero in on. And these brushes by Give Me Glow look like they have several of them. It's kind of hard to tell from pictures, of course, so I'll probably be picking up a couple just to play it safe. But this little blending brush up there, that looks really promising. That looks like a tiny little pecker brush. What else is on here? A flat brush. I love flat brushes for putting on my shimmer, so I might pick up some of them. And maybe one or two of these other blending brushes as well. But there's lots of blending brushes and not a bad price either. I think there's going to be a bundled price, but their price point is going to be $3 to $7, somewhere in there, depending on the size of the brush and whatnot. So I got my eye on that so hard. And then last up, she just launched this today, I believe. This is a palette that's going to be launching for Black Friday, and it is called the Bad Witch Club palette. It's, let's see, I just said launching Black Friday. My bad. But anyway, here's what the palette looks like. It's a very pretty palette. When you kind of combine green, purple, and blue together, I feel like it's just such a gorgeous combination. The palette itself, like the color story and the design of the outside, is absolutely beautiful. Very, very pretty. I will say that I feel like the cover, and I'll come back around, you can see in a minute. I feel like the cover shows a lot of like hot pink in it, in the clouds. And then when I look at this, the closest you find is like a more peachy tone. So honestly, I kind of wish that they had taken maybe one of those peachy tones and put like a more of a hot pink. Because like I see it right there in like the trees. I can't zoom in on here. But like in the trees, it just looks so hot and so intense. I mean, maybe the peach kind of gets close to that. I don't know. I just saw the cover and I was surprised to not see any kind of pink in there just from seeing the highlight from, you know, hitting the trees and whatnot. It's just so pink and beautiful. Or maybe that's not trees. Maybe that's clouds. Yeah, I think that's clouds. The trees don't have any leaves on it. The clouds, whatever. Anyway, that's the only thing I thought was missing. I don't have plans to pick up the palette just because the theme isn't my vibe. It's not for me. Personally, the outside packaging is just not something I want to own, so I am going to be passing on it. But I do think the color story is very pretty. And just thinking about the different looks that you can create from that, they're going to be absolutely beautiful, for sure. Kind of crazy to go from Gimme Glow's a beautiful, colorful, intense palette to Tarte and Tarte's new palette, but here we are, we're doing it. This is Tarte's new #1 palette that has been a supersized as part of their new Full Bloom collection, because if you didn't get enough of their colors in their original Bloom collection and like Bloom #1 and the Fire, they have like 4 palettes in their Bloom line, don't they? The little squares. Anyway, if you didn't get enough neutrals in those, you can get the supersized one and get even more repetitive shades of the same type of shade. Anyway, I saw this and I was just like, of all palettes that didn't need to be supersized, it was probably the Tartelette in Bloom. Just my personal opinion. I think the cover is absolutely beautiful, and if they had a color story, color scheme that looked like the cover, then maybe we'd be talking, because I feel like purple and pink with gold, that's really pretty. It's a really beautiful spring type of color story and a spring type of palette that would create some really pretty looks. But just a neutral palette, it's a pass. The cheek, the mascara, it's all an easy pass for me. Dominique Cosmetics is launching a new collection. This is the Unconditional palette, and I feel like I haven't heard anyone talking about it. I thought that was really strange. I was in my emails and I saw a new email from them announcing the palette, and then I went and looked on their Instagram page, and that's where I saved this. It's a new, like I said, Unconditional palette. It includes 6 warm, buttery shades that are inspired by love, family, friends, and what truly matters most. I feel like we've seen this color story from her a few times already, so it's nothing that I would want to buy. There's also a glitter in there. I mean, the glitter looks pretty, but I'm just, especially for a smaller palette, I'm not interested in getting a small palette when it has a glitter in it. A big palette, I can forgive the glitter because I can just move past it, and there's lots of other options. But with it being a smaller palette, it's a no. And then also these two, Corazon and Warm Heart look, oh, that's Warm Hearted, sorry, Warm Hearted. They look so very similar. So this color story, I mean, I think it's pretty, especially if you're someone who's into mauves and more of the light tone mauves. I think you would enjoy this, but for me, it's an easy pass. The lip glosses, I'm not into, so everything about this collection is a very easy pass. Okay, Colourpop launched something, and they are adding to their Mandalorian collection, or whatever they call that collection. And they have originally in the past launched the Child palette, which I do own actually, but they're coming out with a new palette, which is over here, and I forget what it's even called. The Mandalorian palette, the Child palette? I forget which one's which now. I thought the original was called the Mandalorian palette, but maybe that was called the Child, and then this is called the Mandalorian. I don't know, but this is the new palette, and here are the swatches. Let me see if I get a bigger picture. Here's the two palettes side by side. This is green and brown, and then this is just brown and brown with one yellow, basically is all it is. This is like a cool tone brown, I should say. Here's the swatches. I feel like the swatches make the palette look even worse in my opinion. I mean, that shimmer that's kind of looks very duochrome is very pretty, but I feel like that's the OG when it comes to duochromes, like that kind of warm brown to blue or whatever, black, what is it called, blue brown pigment. I feel like I remember that way back when I first started getting into makeup from like MAC and Makeup Geek and whatnot, but I don't feel like it's super unique. And then the yellow, I just feel like that's a little bit of a throw it in there to go with this helmet, but I don't know, it's like, why do you need that in there? I don't know, I just think it's an interesting palette. If you're super into cool tones, I can see you liking this, but it's going to be an easy pass for me. I'm curious to see looks that people do with this palette, because I want to see what that yellow looks like, because I feel like you'll have to be very careful where you place it, because pairing it with so many cool tone shadows, I feel like it's just going to dull it so much that it almost will be invisible. So I feel like if you really want that yellow to pop, you're going to have to place it in areas where it's not really going to mix with the other colors. But I am not a color theory expert. I'm definitely not even very good at color theory and mixing colors together in my head. So I could be very incorrect on that, but that was kind of my initial thoughts when I first saw this. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, Lunar Beauty launched this is the Outer Dimension collection, and it's all a very easy pass for me. The brushes, they're face brushes. I feel like that's always a harder sell for me just because I have face brushes. I don't know. Eyeshadow brushes is what I could have a million of them and still want more. Face brushes, I'm like, okay, Katie, you have, 2 foundation brushes. You don't need more. And I can talk myself out of it. Not that I have 2. I have way more than 2 foundation brushes, but it was just a rough analogy. Anyway, so the brushes were an easy pass, although I think they're pretty. I love the black to white. The lip products are also a pass. Why is there one that's black and the others fade to white? I think that's interesting. Maybe there's a reason. I didn't watch the video or look too much into it because I wasn't into the collection. And then there's the face palette. This just seems like such overkill because, not to say it's overkill because it has so many different shades for this contour palette, but like it's overkill because so many of them are so close. Like look at all of these. I just feel like they're so, I mean, on the darker side, I feel like I see more differences there, but like on the light side, they're so very similar. And also someone pointed out, I didn't even see this when I first saw this launch, but like the face is a little freaky. Not really into the face. That would scare me. But here's the swatches of it. And like, look at this the lighter side of it. Like these 3, okay, these 2 for sure. I feel like there's like the touch hints, the most delicate hint of a difference between them. And then these 2 over here, like one's white and one's like an off-white. But like on your face, blending it in, I feel like you're definitely not going to be able to tell. And the concentrated swatch is like, yeah, I can see the difference, but I don't know. It's just overkill for me. It's an easy pass. Nothing about this launch I was into. The face kind of weirded me out. And I just don't need that many colors when it comes to contouring my own face, so I wouldn't use it. I talked about this recently, but Bakerie was launching new palettes, and I could see other palettes behind the palette that I talked about. I think I talked about the top one. Oh, no, I talked about this one right here, the bottom left. But anyway, now we see what all of the palettes look like. So they have more of like a cool tone blue-red one. They have more of a warm tone blue-red one, and then they have this one over here, which is like a cool tone neutral palette. So here they are all swatched together. This is Rainbow Marshmallows. That looks really pretty. That looks fun for like spring, summer. I think that's nice. And then they have this, get that, ooh, I can't read what the word is. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they have the neutral palette. I think this is pretty for a neutral palette. This is definitely a neutral palette I would enjoy because it has the neutral colors, but then it has that red and orange in there for the mattes to kind of bring some interest and spice. And then the lid colors, the shimmers, and then the lid colors for the shimmers, there's a yellow. That bright yellow will definitely bring some fun. So I'm not too mad at it for a neutral. I feel like that's very pretty. I think that's nice. And then last one is this cool tone. It says, I'm with the cookie baking crew. Okay. Let's see if there's, oh wait, there's no swatches? Oh, why not? That's interesting. Let me see if there's any swatches now because I think I saved this a little while ago. Nope, no swatches. Interesting. I wonder why they don't have swatches of that one. Anyway, because this was the one I wanted to see swatches of. I feel like this gives me like really strong vibes of the Juvia's Place release that happened because it was very minty and red as well. So this is kind of like an extended version with some neutrals thrown in there. So maybe if you want more condensed, go Juvia's Place. But if you like your neutrals in with colors, then you could look at Beauty Bakerie because they kind of look like the same kind of color story, just a little bit extra thrown into Beauty Bakerie, obviously because it's bigger. But overall, I don't plan to pick anything up. I think they're very pretty and I appreciate them, but I don't know, I'm not really sold or pulled into any of them, so I'm passing. Okay, y'all, the release of the week. Oh my goodness, I was so excited to see this. But this is from Doodles by the Bunny, and she finally announced and shared that she is collaborating with the brand Milan Rowe Makeup, and they are launching the Poison Ivy palette. Look at this palette. I am so excited for Doodles by the Bunny. I feel like I said this in last week's video. Super excited for her. I was curious to see what she would put together for a palette. With it being green theme, like how green would it go? What kind of green? Is it going to have like neutral green? And I feel like this is an accurate representation of Doodles by the Bunny. Like she did this palette so much justice because it's not just like a monochromatic green palette. You got interest in there with a couple other colors thrown in with different varying shades of green, but then you have really dark, you have that red there, you have a more yellowy tone there. I think it's really pretty and I cannot wait to try this out. You've got like a very grungy green, but then you have like a pistachio brighter green, more minty green. Yeah, I'm curious. I have not ever tried Milan Rowe Cosmetics or Milan Rowe Makeup. I know I've talked about them in a future. Will I buy it with I'm pretty sure a palette or a launch or something, and I was like, I've never heard of that brand. I really am curious to try them, but I never have and I never did, except for now, because since she's collaborating with them, I'm definitely going to be trying their brand out because I do plan to pick this up and try it out. So I cannot wait to pick it up and try it out. You'll definitely be seeing some looks. Let me know if you want like a 3 looks 1 palette, or if you want to see comparisons, because this is a green palette. I feel like I'm just kind of like burning myself out or burning my channel out comparing green themed palettes. I need to like wait for a different palette to come in that isn't green to do like a comparison video, because I feel like, you know, between the Glamlight one and then the Ace Beauty one, they were very green themed. So I feel like you guys might be getting tired of seeing me swatch green themed palettes in my collection, but let me know if you would like to. I'm definitely picking it up, and I can't wait because those shimmers look really, really nice, and the mattes too look really nice as well. So super excited, cannot wait. It comes out November 12th. Okay, so REM Beauty is from Ariana Grande's line, and she's finally not announcing because we've known for a while, but she's finally showing the products that she's going to be launching. And there's several products. It looks like a clear gloss. It's a pass. I forget what that thing is. I think it's just a type of lip gloss if I read right. Then it looks like these all here are like highlighter toppers, which I think is interesting. Nothing about me wants to try them because, I don't know, it's just a highlighter topper. Let me just get a highlighter. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just look at this and I'm like, oh, okay, pass. I thought they were eyeshadows at first. She does have an eyeshadow palette. Easy pass for me. Lashes, not interested. Mascara, that into. What else? Lip glosses, eyeliner. I don't know. I'm not into the brand at all as a whole. It's like, it's very spacey vibes, and I don't know. I'm just not really attracted to that packaging. It's like the typical white, you know, shape and very smooth and whatnot. It looks nice. It looks pretty. I don't know. I'm not into it at all. This definitely looks like the lipstick's about to shoot off into space with that, but for whatever reason, I'm not into it at all, so it's all an easy pass for me. bPerfect Cosmetics launched a new Manifest Aspire palette, a multi-use face and eye palette designed for the ultimate wearable glam. And it definitely looks, let me zoom in appropriately, it looks like the wearable glam for sure, but nothing that I'm really interested in. If this was like your one and only palette, I feel like it'd be really nice because you got different tones for the contour and whatnot. I think that's nice and it's different. I feel like it has more saturation and color than most contour palettes. Yeah, have a highlighter and then you have some staple colors for a really neutral glam look. I think it's pretty in that aspect, but it's nothing that I want to add to my collection. And there's a lot else in this collection, but you guys know me. I'm always zeroing in on the eyeshadow and I just keep on moving, so it's going to be a pass for me. Glisten Cosmetics is collaborating with the Clay Drop. We are now in a position to confirm the price of our new release. This is a palette. I think it's, Glisten is all liners. So this is a cake liner palette that's cow inspired, with a bunch of colors and split pan. I can now say from experience, I am not a fan of split pans, and I don't ever want to have any more split pans in my collection again. I have this from Kash Beauty, and they're split pans. Now granted, they're smaller split pans, and these do look bigger, so it's nice, but I am not careful enough to be careful when I'm using a cake liner to make sure that they don't mix, and it's just too stressful for me, and so it's a no right there for me. I'd rather just a simple palette like this that gives me all the colors in their own little pan, or from a Beauty gives me the colors in their own pan, and that way if I make a mess it stays within its little eyeshadow container. So this is an automatic no. And then the colors, I think the colors are nice. I think that's pretty. You got a variety of colors. You got brown and black and 2 like whites, creams or whatever, but then you have fun colors. It seems a tad repetitive. I mean, I guess it's yellow, that's like a lime green, and then that's a green, and it's a minty green, 2 different types of blue, a purple, another type of blue. I don't know. I think it's nice, but since I wasn't planning to pick it up, I didn't really read too much into it. But I will say, another cow-inspired palette that's very colorful color story. I always find that very interesting. Cheekbone Beauty is celebrating Native American Heritage Month with a new bundle. Cheekbone Beauty is a newer brand to me and like a newer brand on my radar, but they have a couple products. It looks like a illuminator. Here we go. These are illuminators. Then we have a blush and bronzer combo, a mascara, I believe, and then an eyeliner pencil. So let me see. It looks really nice. I love the bottle that it comes in. Like, that's really pretty. Let's see. It's going to retail, the capsule will retail for $131 USD. It has a new limited edition gold body shimmer, a new Warrior Women liquid lipstick in shade Bethany, Sustain mascara, Sustain blush bronzer, and Sustain eye pencil. So I feel like if you're wanting to try Cheekbone Beauty, this would be a great one to pick up because you get a gorgeous, container that you could repurpose in some other way around your house, and then you get to try a bunch of their products in some limited edition. That's neat too, but for me, it's going to be an easy pass. I love their little logo on there. I think that's really pretty for the cheekbone. Very pretty. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys, if you are at all interested, I feel like bundles are the way to go to, you know, try a bunch of products and kind of get a good feel for a brand. So I missed this, but Viseart launched 4 little quads recently, and they look really cute. I wish they had more mattes to shimmers, but these all have more shimmers to mattes. Like, look at this one. The only matte in there is like a very light brow bone. I don't know. I'm not that type of girl. Like, I need some interesting mattes in there. I'm not the kind of like just one matte that you could just use for your brow bone and you're done. This one is the only one that really interests me, the green one, obviously, but at least it has a deeper matte in there. But anyway, I'm not into this. Color Store just doesn't grab me. There aren't enough mattes and whatnot for me to feel interested in it, but I will say that, like, the packaging I think is pretty, but that's about it for me. Okay, real quick, touch on this. Scott Barnes launched a new palette. This is the Snatchral. Snatchral, is it supposed to be all said together, I guess? It is a very, very neutral, and like, not even just neutral, cool tone, but like a light, pale looking palette. Unless it's a lot more intense in person, it just looks that all the colors look so light and almost washed out. All the shimmers look like almost interchangeable. They're so close. I don't know. And like this Kafa and Bambi look like the same. I don't know. I think Britt Clark picked it up, and I will watch her video, of course, and can't wait to see what she does with it, and can't wait to see it in person to, you know, not in this kind of stock image, to see what it really looks like. But for me, you guys know, this is an easy pass. Absolutely. All right, that's going to do it for my Will I Buy talking about new makeup releases. We talked about a good amount of products, even though before I sat down, I was looking through it and I was like, there's not too much to talk about this week, but you guys know me. I can always talk and make any short video that could be short very long because I just ramble on and on. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I always enjoy getting to sit down and chit chat with you guys. Per usual, any late breaking news are going to be over here. That way you guys can hear my thoughts before next week. And in case you were curious and it launches like right after it's announced, you guys know my thoughts. I'll go ahead and say it here, and I'll try to, you know, of course, say it in next week's, but I am not going to have a Will I Buy It video for the 27th, which will be like the Thanksgiving week. That Saturday, I'm just going to be taking off and skip it. So let's see, next week, the 20th will be my last one, and then I'm going to skip a week, just enjoy Thanksgiving holiday weekend with my family. But I just figured I would announce it here, and then of course next week I'll announce it hopefully at the beginning just to give you guys a heads up, but I'll let you guys know and remind you again in next week. But yeah, I'm just going to take that week off. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so very much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments of any new releases that we talked about. I think the only thing I plan to pick up is the Doodles by the Bunny palette, and I'm so very excited for her. I'm so very excited to try it, and let me know what you want to see me do with the palette, what type of video you want to see on my channel. But with that said, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there, and I post reels, tutorials, up close eye looks, eye pictures, and all that sort of thing. So you can find me over there, LadyKatie92, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.